Hey DZ, this is Jonathan, and I thought I would just make a video because I thought that might be the easiest way to help communicate some of this stuff. I started making some of these images, and I made three of them, and then two of them I'm just going to talk through. But just kind of wanted to show you some of the different issues. In this case, whenever I sent the original example, whenever I pull these images like this, I'm just doing it to get an example, but I don't necessarily want you to do that exactly because I don't want to copy anyone else's work or for anyone else to say, oh, you just copied this exactly. So I do want you to create your own images in here, your own character versions. And whenever I sent the explanations over originally, and I included these images here, these are characters that I have come up with. So this is an example of the drawing style that I'd like the characters to be in. And one note is the line work in general usually is kind of thin in comparison to what I want. So in general, that's one note is that I'd like the line work to be thicker. But what I'd like to do here is this character looks scared, he looks frightened, and what is supposed to be happening in this image is he's supposed to be feeling like he's in a strange place. He doesn't feel like he's in danger, but he just is looking around like, where am I? He thinks it's a weird place. So I'd like you to draw a character, and you don't have to draw one of these exactly. You can use this as a style reference as far as how to even draw new characters, which is fine. But I do want it to be original work. And so those are just some notes on that image, and I'll send this note as well. For this one, this was another example where I realized that, it was just drawing the exact image, and I didn't want it to be something where later someone say, oh, this is just an exact copy of this image. Whenever you redid these faces, I feel like they almost look exactly the same. I didn't really notice much of a difference. And so I thought it'd be a good idea just to, try to redo the faces and draw them more in this style. Also, in the notes for the order, I had attached individual images for you to draw on top of. And I'd like you to go back to that order and select the image I gave you because I had updated the text here and I had removed this line work here, and it looks like you went back and found the original work file and just worked on that. But I actually want you to take the image I attached and do the work on it. One of the reasons is because this is another note. I don't know if you've noticed in my previous notes, but there's a certain font that I would like all of the text to be in, and it doesn't seem like you were able to ever really get that note. For example, if I go here and I type the font that I like and that I use for everything is Cartoonist right here, and this is what that looks like. So I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. And this is a free font that you can just go to dafont.com or any of the font sites, and there'll be like a Cartoonist font like this. So if I just say, hey, how is it going? This is actually the font that I use through all the images. So it would actually save a lot of time for me if you could just start using this font and put it in the images instead of using the other text. And if you just download that one font, then that'd be a really big help. It's just Cartoonist is what it is, and it's a free font. Same thing here. I gave my own image, which I had my own. I had updated the font there. So that's why I wanted you to use the image I had attached, so that I wouldn't have to go back and change out the font again or anything. And the thing here is whenever you drew this image and this image, these are in two different styles. So drawing styles, the character body, the character body shape. So it doesn't really seem like it's the same person because of that, and that's why I wanted you to go back and change the body type of this character to be the same as this character, so that in those two images, it's clear that it's the same person. Because this is a completely different body type than this right here. So that was the whole goal of this particular image, and this character needs to be facing away. He needs to be facing down the road. We should be seeing the back of his head, and the body type is supposed to be here. And if you go to the original order, you'll see that I attached a version of this image that I wanted you to do the work on. And it's these kinds of things that kind of made me feel like I wondered if you were actually reading the notes. That's what was getting me frustrated, because I thought, are you just trying to fly through this as quickly as possible? And that was just creating a frustration, because it seemed like you weren't really seeing some of the notes and stuff that I was giving. Here, this was something that completely got lost. This was not a success here. Basically, the whole point of this image was I did not want to copy exactly any image. So back to that reason where I don't want to be copying things exactly. So this was an exact copy. This looks great, but it's an exact copy. So what I wanted to do was take some of the features of this character and put them on this character so that it would be different. So I wanted to take these eyebrows and put it on that character. I wanted to put some of the side hair and put it on that character. I wanted to change the nose style a little bit, change the mouth style a little bit, so that it was a combination of a couple of different reference pictures and not an exact image. But what you actually did was you put the exact, you just put an exact image of someone else on there. So it was just another copy of a copy, and that was the whole thing I was trying to avoid, if that makes sense. So that's what I wanted to happen with this image. And then this character, because it is an exact copy of another image, I'm wanting to do original characters. So it might be a good idea to actually choose one of these characters or in this drawing style, and then go back and maybe create a new character if you need to. But I don't want, when I give the reference pictures to you, those are pulled right off of Google, and I don't want to be copying them exactly. So that was the whole point there. And then this last image, kind of the same thing. This ended up being really an exact copy of the reference picture. And what I was wanting you can just use the body shape and kind of do your own version of it, but probably be good to use this more of this drawing style here. And then the face, the whole reason I gave you this face is because I want the face to be looking directly back at the viewer, and I want it to be a wide-eyed face, like deer in headlights, that kind of a facial expression. And so that wasn't quite the facial expression here. It was a little bit, but I want the head to be facing directly back towards me, and that's why I had provided this reference image. And so just one of those things where I'm wondering if it's not clear in the notes or whatever. But one general thing that I think will help going forward is that it would probably be a good idea to start drawing in this style, showing these characters, and if you want to go back and review the original explanation images that I provided. That way everything will kind of be done in the same style, and it will help solve a lot of these other things as well. But I just thought talking to you through this video was going to be the easiest way to explain kind of what I'm trying to achieve with some of these images. So I think you're doing a good job, and I'm happy with your work. I just thought to help save time for me and to help save time for you, it would be good for me to create this video. So I'll get this sent over, and I'll be chatting with you soon. Thanks.